I have managed to finish another 2 books this week. One was an extreme horror from the book challenge that me and Kez have started, and the other one was a romance that I absolutely loved. I knew I was going to love it, and I can't wait to talk about it. Good morning, it is Friday, so that means another reading update from me. We do have a bit of a different scenery today because I'm spending the day with Kez. But I've had a good week for books. I read a romance from an author that I'm absolutely loving. I've read all of the books that she's released so far, and I think I've rated every single one of them 5 stars, and this one was no different whatsoever. And then me and Kez did start our extreme horror challenge this week. We finished it yesterday, I think. And I rated that one 4 stars. It was gross and gory and everything that I expected. So let's get into it. With the romance that I finished, and that was Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I have read all 4 books that this author has published, and I do think I've rated everyone 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. It was very different to anything that I've read before. Thinking about it, I don't think I've read a book where the couple are already married, they're already in an established relationship, and they've been married for about 17 years. So I certainly haven't read a book where it's been such a long relationship. But we are following our 2 main characters, Calum and Sarah. They've got married when they were 19 because Sarah's mother was extremely poorly at the time. So of course Sarah wanted her mother to be part of her wedding. So sadly, Sarah's mom does pass away, and because they've been married for so long, Sarah just kind of feels stuck in her ways. She doesn't really have anything for herself because she's never known anything other than being married to Calum, where he has got all these different hobbies. He has a very well-paid job. He has his own business. And Sarah is just at home. She is one of those people that has tried lots of things, but nothing has ever really stuck. And it does start to take a toll on their relationship. So she decides to rope Caleb into going on a retreat in the woods for married couples, and it is for 5 days. These characters don't do the outdoors at all. They are very much indoor people. So that does play such a massive part within this story as well, there were so many parts in this book that I just found so funny. But I think what I liked most about this one is the fact that even though they'd been together for so long, they still had so much love for each other, and that was never really the problem, and they were still so very attracted to each other. So when we did hit sort of spicy scenes and stuff like that, they were written so well. But I loved it. I loved the way that this one ended, and I was so happy that we were still able to see so much of the 2 characters from Out on a Limb, which is Sarah's sister Wynne. They are still so very present within this one, and I really like that about books. I think I mentioned that last week. So yeah, 5 stars. It was an easy read. I think I finished this one in about 3 days, and I just can't wait for her to bring out more books because I know for a fact that I'll just enjoy them just as much. Moving on to the good stuff, and that is the extreme horror that me and Kez finished for our book challenge, and that was Handyman by Aaron Beergard. I rated this one 4 stars. I believe Kerry rated this one 3 stars. I did enjoy this one. I certainly didn't enjoy it as much as Playground. That one just was at a completely different level and is one of my favourite books of all time. This one was definitely gross and gory, and it had some very disturbing scenes. But in this one, we are following our main character, Vinny. He is a construction worker, and he works for this big boss in the construction world, and he doesn't have the best sort of employees. They've all done some very disturbing, disgusting stuff. So Vinny isn't really very comfortable there. But he is hired by these 2 people. They are siblings, and they believe there is a different world out there and that they are superior. So they have decided to build kind of like a portal to take over the world in a way. They believe in the devil, but they think that they are better than the devil, which usually with these sort of ritual sort of things is because they want to either be like the devil, but they hate the devil. But in order to do so, they have to make this portal out of body parts and limbs. and skin and everything, all that gross stuff. So they hire Vinny to do the dirty work for them. This doesn't sound like something Vinny would do. However, he cannot help it because they are controlling him with a device that they have built. So he isn't in control of what he's doing. He does feel things, he feels pain, and he knows what he is doing, but he can't control himself from doing it. This one is like, you think, because Vinny's our main character, we are obviously following him, we are supposed to like him. I didn't necessarily like Vinny. He has some very interesting desires, you could say. He certainly prefers his women unalived. He doesn't kind of breach that. He doesn't go that far, but in order to get himself excited, if you know what I mean, he would picture his wife to be a certain way. And what was gross about this one was, it wasn't necessarily that they were just unalived or they were just cold out of the morgue or anything like that. They were in full decomposition. So yeah, it was gross. There was one scene that I definitely highlighted quite a lot. His dad has a very, very similar hobby. He is a serial killer and has gone around for years murdering women. He thinks that men are superior and women don't deserve to be on this planet. They only serve one purpose. So unfortunately, Vinny as a child is sort of dragged through that. And his dad is working on a project where he has recreated a whole car out of women. And yeah, it's gross. It was disgusting. Some of the stuff that was explained did make me feel a bit queasy at times. Nothing that I knew that I wouldn't be able to handle, but it was definitely very gross. What I do like about Aaron Beargard's books are the illustrations, and I think with reading it on a Kindle, you just don't see the illustrations come in, so they would sort of jump out at you. Some of them were quite tame, but there were a couple in there that were very gross, and I did find myself having to take it in and study the pictures as much as I can to try and get as much from what was happening at that time. But yeah, it was good. Like I said, not as good as a Playground, but it definitely hasn't put me off reading any more of his work. And yeah, we're going to be choosing our next book in the next couple of weeks, I think. I'm not sure what we're going to choose yet. But we are enjoying it so far. One book down. I think we've got 9 to go. So we'll see how we get on with the rest of them. So there you have it. Those are the 2 books that I've managed to finish this week. I'm so close to finishing my audiobook, which is Phantom by H.D. Carlton, and I'm very much enjoying that one. And I'm also reading a cowboy romance, although I wouldn't quite call it a cowboy romance as such, but I'm very much enjoying that one. So hopefully by next Friday, we will be talking about them. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're not already, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. I would very much appreciate it, and I will be back soon with another video. Bye!